The defilement of the bed is so easy, especially when people are in love with each other. That initial puppy love of relationship. And as young people, your body is on fire. Hot, 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 hot. The defilement of the bed is so easy, especially when people are in love with each other. That initial puppy love of relationship. And as young people, your body is on fire. Hot, 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 hot. Some years ago, about 24, 25 years ago, I was preaching in a youth meeting. Pastor Victor, do you remember, in the basement, that basement place? And I said, I'm giving you people a rule in this place. As you are young people, no kissing, no necking, no hugging. They carried me to social media. They didn't know they publicized the message for me. They said, Pastor Mrs. Enenche gave law in their church that people should not hug, they shouldn't kiss, they shouldn't neck. Whatever they want to say, let them say. I don't change my mind. Because let me describe a little anatomy and physiology to you. It's what is called the sympathetic nervous system. And there's what is called the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is what coordinates your legs, your hands, your everything. I want to look to the choir side. I tell my brain, look to your right. So I turn, all right? And command the nerves, controlling the neck, turn to look at the choir side, all right? I want to walk from here forward. So in my brain, I tell my legs, move forward. So the legs take the instruction from the sympathetic nervous system and obey the instruction and start walking forward. Did you get that? There's the second system that controls two major things, majorly visceral things, but two major ones. The heartbeat, lop, dop, lop, dop. That's how your heart beats, okay? So when we examine a baby and say, oh, the baby had a hole in the heart, you want to hear lop, dop, to show that the baby is healed. But if you hear lop, grrr, dop, lop, grrr, dop, or you hear grrr, dop, lop, grrr, dop, lop, it means that there is a hole in the heart and the blood is spilling through another stage. So it gives those added heart sounds. Are we together? Anybody enjoying the anatomy class? Praise the Lord. So, the heart is controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system. The other thing that is controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system in a way is your lungs. You could actually hold your breath for a while, but eventually you must let go and allow it to continue to breathe in and out. The other thing is the sexual response. It's controlled by two systems. It starts off with the sympathetic nervous system. When you say, walk to her house, you walk to her house. Knock on the door, you knock on the door. Open the door, enter. Walk to the girl, walk to the girl. Put your hands around her. Put your hands around her. Start kissing her neck. Start kissing her neck. Do this. You start doing. You are fully aware of what you are doing. Am I correct? You say no. Yeah, the man and the girl too, she's fully aware. They know what they are doing. But this is what happens. It shifts. There's a point. It shifts where you are conscious of what you are doing to where the system takes over the control. And you are no longer in charge of what is going on until you have finished what you wanted to do. Those of you who have never tried it, don't try it. Those of you who tried it and fell, you know what I'm saying. So you ensure that you never allow yourself to come to the point where your sexual response shifts from sympathetic nervous system control to the parasympathetic nervous system control. Because once you cross that dividing line, you actually more often than not have no control again until the bad deed is done. So that's why I say to young people, don't start. Because when you start kissing yourself, you are aware of what is going on. Your head still there, your head. But you get to a stage, it just switches. Bam. Just a switch. And then next thing, oh, Father, forgive me. You knew what you were doing when you started. Don't run yourself into the hand of the devil. Don't become a victim. Establish rules. Establish laws. When my husband, God's servant, and myself were in courtship, we made rules. If we are in a house, the front door must be open. Windows must be open. Draw the blinds. I was living on my own as a doctor in the hospital where I was working, and I had a 2-bedroom flat to myself. And even if he came to visit, front door open. And there was this mature nurse who had an issue and lost her home or whatever and had no accommodation, and they told her that there's one young doctor girl that has 2-bedroom flats. You ask her if she will let you stay. So she came and said, yeah, why not? I'm not using the second room, so you can come and use it. If ever my fiance that time came to visit and she was coming from work or whatever, at any point in time T, moment M, she came back, she would find the front door open, even if it is evening. Not afraid of mosquitoes, not afraid of whatever, rain, front door open. She would just walk in, and in whatever position, sitting on this side and sitting on this side, she will meet us, no compromise. After several weeks, she started living there. She came one day, we were sitting, and she knelt down and said, pray for me. I haven't seen this kind of integrity before. If I had it, my home would not have broken up. And we said, what do you mean? She said, anytime I come, I've never found you people in a compromised position. Pray for me. I'm also a Christian. I want that kind of integrity. Set rules. Beloved, set boundaries. Say this far. You can agree that your highest expression of affection is a handshake. Some young people are laughing. It's like, this is ridiculous. Is this woman okay? I'm okay. Oh, I know what I'm saying. Oh, I don't do counseling. Tire. You'll be seeing people crying and weeping. They are married, but marriage is now in wahala. Marriage in trouble. Let your highest expression of affection be a handshake. Pastor, come. This is my brother-in-law. No, you. Come. Now, as my brother-in-law, I can greet him this. Do you understand? But can you imagine now? This man, I hug him like this. Is that possible? It can't happen. Why can't you think of, if this is a married woman, are you going to hug her the way you are planning to hug her? Mm-hmm. What of your sister? If this is your sister, are you actually going to hug her the way you are planning to hug this girl? Are you understanding what I'm saying? If this is somebody's wife, and the way you are planning to hug her, full chest hug like this, and the husband of the girl comes, will he not kill you? He will cut off your neck. Premature death. You are looking for what? Premature death. So as you see that young lady look at her with the mind, this could be somebody's wife. And imagine one huge, tall man who, if he carry you like that, do like this, you just scatter. If that fear is not enough, think about God looking down from heaven. Think about the Almighty looking down from heaven. If that is not enough, imagine that as you are in the midst of what you are doing, rapture takes place. Are you ready to compromise all your years of living for Jesus for 1 minute of pleasure? Stand up on your feet. Young people, this is a major undoing. And when this happens, and people fall into sexual immorality, it begins to damage every ramification of their lives. It damages, if they are students, it damages their career. If they are workers, it damages their academics. If they are workers, it damages their career. If they are, whatever they do, it just damages them. Take your seat. Let me give you 4 things. I always say this. Anybody that is tired of hearing it, oh, I'm sorry, but I have a responsibility to God to communicate His word to my generation. What are the consequences of premarital sexual relationship? Number 1 is a harvest of lack of love. If you read the story of Tamar and Amnon, the Bible says after he slept with her, he hated her with a hatred that was greater than the love wherewith he loved her. He hated her what? With a hatred that was greater than the love wherewith he loved her. So that love that is doing you love. What happens when you enter into premarital sexual relationship is the love will just spoil. Hatred sets in. Number 2 is lack of mutual trust. You are planning to marry and you now realize, if this girl allowed me to have immorality with her before we married, what guarantee do I have that she will not sleep with another man, even though she's not married to that man? And vice versa for the woman. So, when they eventually force themselves and get married, in the marriage, they don't trust themselves. Where have you been? Why are you just coming back? I went to saloon. What kind of saloon? 3 hours in saloon? I've heard of cases where the man is interrogating the woman. Say, I'm in the market. Say, since when did you go to market? Say, I'm okay, talk to the pepper seller. I'm in front of the woman now where I'm buying tomato. Madam, take phone. Tell my husband what you are selling and what I'm doing here. Isn't that embarrassing? And the man actually collects the phone and said, the woman says she's selling tomato and pepper. And the wife is here buying tomato and pepper. Before he can believe. You don't want trust to go. Say, who are you talking to on the phone? Who are you texting? What phone call are you answering? It's a miserable life. You don't want that. Number 3 is lack of mutual respect. The man looks down on the woman. The woman looks down on the man. See this yeye girl can open leg for me when I never marry her. Nonsense. Come out from here, Joe. Have you seen some couples, the man is extremely rude to the woman. In front of children, in front of people. He has no regard for her. Some people, the woman is very rude to the man. She has no regard. It's a principle. It's a phenomenon. And you don't want to fall into that kind of category. And the number 1 major broad category is extramarital affairs. If you sow seed time, there's always harvest time. And normally, you see the extramarital affairs, most times is men, sometimes is the women, sometimes the 2 people, then they do private practice. This guy has his side chick, the girl has her sugar daddy. Isn't that a disaster? It shall never be your portion. Somebody say, it shall never be my portion.